Vanderbilt is getting 21 points versus Missouri, who's coming off the win at Boston College. Vanderbilt loses their first game. They lost to Georgia Southern, correct? Or was that Georgia State?
Georgia State. It was a road game.
Georgia State, yeah.
Weird game.
Yeah, Diego Pavia's been doing his thing for Vanderbilt. What do you think about this game, Tyler?
Well, I'm going to say this about Vandy. Every year under Clark Lee, they start out really good. They start out 2-0, I believe, except for his first year, which was, 2020? Oh, actually, no, it wasn't. It was 2021. But that was his first year. But 2022, 2023, and now this year, they start out 2-0. And then the third game, Vanderbilt curse strikes yet again. I really feel terrible for Vandy. They were down this entire game against Georgia State, though. They had a random safety that kind of actually was, you could point to, a deciding factor back in the second quarter. I watched this game. I turned it off when it's 29-17 with 6 minutes left. Vandy got the ball back. And next thing you know, on my ESPN app, Vanderbilt scores to make it 32-29 with a minute and 2 seconds left. I'm like, what? So I jump back, watch the game again, and then Georgia State just goes down in 5 plays, scores a very quick touchdown, and breaks Vanderbilt's heart. Now, Missouri, on the other hand. Missouri fans, I hate to be like this, and I've said this before. If you watch me on the SG1 Sports YouTube channel, you know where I'm going. Missouri has no business being in the top 10. They're not a top 10 team. They're certainly not the 7th best team in college football. I could literally name 10 better teams right now, 6 of which are in the SEC alone. And in fact, Missouri might be the 7th or 8th best team in the SEC. I don't know if Missouri can beat any team other than Mississippi State and maybe Florida without their head coach by 21 points. I love Vanderbilt in the value here. I would even alt bet this. I think this is going to be a very close game, or closer than expected game. Vandy can run the football, okay? It's, Missouri's front 7 has played extremely well. They played really well against Boston College. I think they only gave up 50 yards rushing, especially against a dual threat QB. I hope this is a bounce back situation for Vanderbilt. At the same time, Missouri's overrated. It's kind of unfortunate for me to say that, but it's kind of a wait and see when they lose and then point and laugh type of situation. I think they are going to lose here in a couple weeks at Texas A&M. But anyways, for Vandy game, I think Vanderbilt is able to limit the possessions here, maybe move the football a little bit more with Pieva in that rush game. And I think Missouri ends up winning this game maybe 30-17 or something weird like that. But I love the cover for Vanderbilt. But I will take the Missouri Tigers, who aren't a top 10 team.
Yeah, I'm not big on Missouri, just like you, but I'm a little bit nicer. I do think they're a decent team. I had them at 8-4 at the beginning of the season. I stick by that from what I've seen. I will say the secondary does concern me for Missouri a little bit, but the thing is, I don't know if Diego Pavia can dice them up through the air. Thomas Castellanos for Boston College had over 300 yards passing versus Missouri, so he did a good job. They need to get Luther Burden more involved. Right now, he's not the leading receiver on Missouri. I don't understand that. I know Theo Weiss is a good player, but Luther Burden is probably the best wide receiver in college football. There's a couple other names you can debate there, but he's in the conversation at least. I made fun of this guy for Vanderbilt. Eli Stowers, the tight end that was converted quarterback. He's their leading receiver. He's been playing pretty well. But I just think Vanderbilt is just too limited offensively to exploit the secondary weaknesses. I think toughness and grit of Diego Pavia can only get you so far. I just don't believe in Vanderbilt. I haven't from the beginning of the year. I'm not going to believe in them. I think they beat a very overrated Virginia Tech team at the beginning of the year. That last year Virginia Tech skated by and won a lot of close games at the end versus a lot of bad teams, and people thought they were going to be good for some reason. So I think they're riding high off of that still. I'm going to take Missouri to cover this. I'm going to have Missouri winning this game, 38-10. I think they win this game rather easily. I think they cover the spread. I think Missouri offensively is able to put up enough points. I think they're able to stop the run of Vandy, and I don't think, like I said, Vanderbilt is explosive enough through the air to challenge those weaknesses of Missouri.
Well, I will say this about the Missouri-Boston College game. You can point at 3 different situations in which Missouri had blown coverages for whatever reason. The missed assignments there kind of gifted Boston College points. And then Luther Burden had a freak out, weird 2-play stretch where he costed Missouri 30 yards. They're up 27-14. They're driving the football. And then that weird 2nd and 59. Well, 30 yards of it were on Luther Burden. That kind of cost Missouri at least 3 points. So maybe I'm being a little bit too critical because Missouri should have probably covered against Boston College, but I kind of figured they wouldn't. I'm 3-0 on Missouri games. I'm about to make it 4-0 when Vandy covers the 21. And this game, I believe, started at 22.5. I thought, or it was something, it may have been 21.5, so maybe I'm being a little bit too critical, but I feel like this line has actually dropped a little bit. May have been 23.5.
The over is 53.5 here, so I would go under on that as well because 38-10, that'd be 48 points. What did you say the score was for you, Tyler?
I went 30-17. I think Vandy will force some field goals. And I will say this, I think the Vandy-Virginia Tech game was kind of a fluke, and I think Virginia Tech is still going to make their way through the ACC. But then they lose to Georgia State, so I guess it counterbalanced itself there.
Yeah, that's true. So we both have the under there. We're just on opposite sides. I got Missouri covering, and you have Vanderbilt plus 21. And I took Boston College, so I'm glad Missouri made those mistakes because I made a little bit of money off of that.